Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And this is going to be an unboxing and rambling of Ignite by Ginger Snap Gaming. Now, this is going to be the all-in pledge for Ignite, at least I think so, I hope so. It has all the boxes that I know of. Either way, if you're not familiar with unboxing and ramblings, it's going to be me unboxing the game. That's definitely true, and I'll talk about the game to some degree. I have actually been fortunate enough to play this one on TTS, not in person, so I can talk about it, but I'll also just talk about whatever. And starting with whatever, let's talk about the mug in front of me, which is this mug, where it says, "Where do babies coming from? Where do babies come from?" English and all that, along with a picture of a hut and 2 worker placement spots. If you know what that's from, this mug is funny. If you don't, it's not that funny. But this mug, why am I talking about this mug? This mug is actually going to be sold by Ginger Snap Gaming. If you're not familiar with the freight issues that the world has been having, a lot of Kickstarter companies who charged you one price to get you the game, fast forward a year and a half later, and they are paying a very different price to actually get the game freighted over to the mainland. So basically, lots of companies have had to eat a lot of fees. Some companies have passed those on to customers, other companies have eaten them, and other companies, like Ignite, have tried basically doing a bit of a hybrid module of not forcing anyone to pay anything, but rather saying, hey, in whatever way you can help out, that'd be great. And one of the things they've done is they have a line of shirts and mugs and hoodies with various designs, of which I bought 3 mugs. Probably should buy a hoodie at some point. It's going to start getting cold in this basement, and these tea turtle shirts, probably should edit that, these tea turtle shirts won't quite cut it. And with that, let's go ahead and start off the unboxing part. Let's go ahead, coffee shot, in case you missed it. And I always like starting off with a coffee shot. It's because I love board games, I love coffee, I love my family too, but throwing one of my children on the table and saying coffee shot, not the best look, a worse look when you're waving a knife around. Anyways, not the point. Let's go ahead and start off with the core box over here, starting with, here we go, the Ignite box, which, by the way, is significantly larger than I thought it was going to be. I didn't realize that we're looking at, like, a big box. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of content in it, but this is a big box. There's a decent amount of content here, plus we have the freeze and the enemy. We're going to go through all of that. But as a general high-level overview, probably should move my coffee. As a general high-level overview, Ignite is going to be a deck-building skirmish game. That's what it is, okay? We've seen this done before. Most recently with, I want to say, Ascension did it. Also, what's that robot game? There's a robot game coming from Wise Wizard Games. They did Robot Quest Arena, was also a deck-building skirmish game. Now this box is taking a sweet time coming off. We can go ahead and toss that over there. And now we have the core box and all the stuff. And let's go through everything. So, and Ginger Snap Gaming in particular was particularly fun to deal with as far as the Kickstarter. They had updates left, right, and center. They were updating, hey, we got back the insert here. It's not the quality we want. It's going to add a delay, but we want it to be fixed. Like, showing pictures left, right, and center, losses, wins. Here we have a listing of the various factions. You can see over here. We have the Lizardmen, the Catfolk, the Dwarves, the Humans, Elves, Kitsune, Ratmen, Panda Warriors, and yes, if you are a fan of Ignite or want a chance to get this game, they do have plans of doing another Kickstarter for Ignite at some point. In fact, they have like 3 or 4 Kickstarter ideas or games in the queue. They've actually, though, been sticking to the idea that they wanted to deliver their game first before going on to the next one. So here we have the board set up for various player counts. We have a 2 to 4 player board, a 5 to 8 player board. The outside village is where you're going to be trying to like build cards and add them to your deck, and the inside is where you're going to be fighting and trying to destroy one another. And basically the goal of destroying one another is getting these little daggers in the backs of the various characters. And the rulebook, start to finish, I mean, honestly, I can give you 90% of the game by telling you it's a skirmish game where you're going to have, it's a skirmish deck building game where you're going to buy cards to add to your deck. Various cards are going to let you move around that board over here that we had. Then you're going to be buying more cards from the outer edges and then trying to basically, well, get the most points as you take others down. That's basically the entire game. The rest is going to be mostly in small details about the exact sequencing or the various ways factions play out, or of course the intricacies of the cards. But it's really not a complicated game. Oh, the terrain types. I guess I should probably explain terrain types if I were teaching the game. I'm not teaching the game right now, though. So this is a game that I backed it. I backed it on Kickstarter before I played it because it looked like the kind of thing that I'd enjoy. I like deck building. I like skirmish when done a certain way. This type of skirmish is actually the way I usually don't... oh, look at that. We have a video. Go to Ginger Snap Gaming Ignite videos, and there we go. So we have all of that there. As far as rulebook length, we have variants over there. We have battle decks. We have key terms. I guess if you ignore the key terms, if we go to where the board ends after death, let's go to 17, page 17 through starting. I guess that's set up. Yeah, 7 through 17. It's like 10 pages of rules. And again, really, this is a very easy game to play. Take my word for it. If you've done any skirmish games and any deck building games, this is a very easy game. We have a glossary here, which, what's going on here? Ooh, we got a little indent. So this looks like it's got indented, possibly on one of these characters' hands. Oh, I can see how that happened. It might have been forced down a little bit on one of these hands. It looks like it was forced into the palm of one of these pandas. Small indent, not a huge deal. It's like, it's one of those fascinating things, because whenever you buy something from any source, from Amazon, from wherever, there's this instinctive feeling of, I just spent money on something, so like I want it to be fresh and new and without any issues whatsoever. And then there's that weird balance of being mindful of the, like, you could demand whatever you want. I could say, hey, I want a new rule book, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I probably wouldn't get it, it would be obnoxious. But like, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. Ignite, Kickstarter exclusives. We have the centaurs. And then we have additional lore. I don't care with additional lore. We have more cards, we have more centaurs. And then we have the various token sheets over here. And lots of miniatures. I'm assuming there's trays of minis here. That looks like trays of minis here. So let's go ahead and figure out what goes where as we move things around while trying to basically unbox everything. This is where unboxings can get messy. Let's start with the various token trays over here. And we have, let's just take a look. We have Ginger Snap Game. Let's punch that out. I want to punch that out because I want something to, like, I like looking, when I do these unboxings, I like looking at the thickness of the tokens. So, this is a decently thick token. The punch board size here is pretty solid. If we punch out an individual token, there's no flimsiness to this. There's basically 3 levels of tokens, in my opinion. There's normal, like this. There's flimsy, which is when the tokens feel a little bit like, you could have upped it a bit. You could have upped that quality a notch. It would have been nice to have something that was halfway decent. And then the third level is when something is really hefty, and that is rare, but it does happen. And when that happens, it's very interesting. So we have various tokens, various terrain types that will go on top of the main board, I imagine. Is there a main board? Is there a main board? I can't remember how the map's set up. I imagine there's token... I imagine there's punch boards underneath there as well, because I don't see a main board, and we probably need more than just these as far as having an actual thing. So let's go ahead and look at some miniatures. Let's see what's underneath there. Whoa. Oh no, it's getting stuck. It's getting stuck on the edge. Okay, there we go. I found the tiles. Let's go ahead though, and we'll look at miniatures last. I like looking at miniatures last. So, after backing the game, these are going to be the, you see, these are thicker, I think. I think these are thicker. Where's that punch board token? Let's go ahead and grab one. And if we weigh this up, I'm just like really just going to eyeball this. Yep, that is definitely thicker. This is hefty, which makes sense because it's more of a board material. But overall, so yeah, after I played the game, I had a chance to, I did a series of videos at a certain point in time. I stopped doing them because it didn't make sense, but I did a video series called Why I Backed, which was looking at Kickstarters that were already done and over with, and then covering why I backed those Kickstarters. And the reason I stopped doing that series is because I was only doing the series to catch up the fact that, let's say Ignite, I backed before I was doing videos or content creation, so I never talked about it on camera. So when there's a chance to late pledge, it was fun to go back and talk about it. But by now, I've basically caught up to all the things, or most of the things. There are some things that I haven't delivered, but most of the things, so I stopped doing the series. But in preparation for doing that series of why I backed, I reached out to Ginger Snap Gaming and said, hey, I know the game's on TTS. Do you want to do a bit of a walkthrough of the game? And they said, sure. So I played the game, and fortunately, because I spent money on this already, I enjoyed it. So I did a why I backed it video, covering it, talking about why I backed it in the first place, and then further adding that I had since played the game. Okay, sorry, this has been a long day. But, speaking of which, speaking of the long day aspect, so today, in my space, it's currently Sunday the 28th. Does that sound right? It's towards the end of September. I'm pretty sure it's I know it's Sunday. I'm pretty sure it's the 28th. We have all these tiles with we have the edge pieces which go around the board. These all make up the edges, which is where you can buy different tokens. Let's go ahead and show you some up here. But so Sunday the 28th, and what's going on in my life right now is Monday is going to be, well, Monday the 29th, and then we'll have Tuesday and Wednesday, which are holidays. For me, Jewish holidays, it's the last days of Sukkot, and those are going to be, well, basically holidays, which means I'll be offline. Immediately following Tuesday and Wednesday is going to be Thursday and Friday, which is going to be Gen Con. Then I'm going to be going down, not Gen Con, Origins. I'll be going down to Origins, coming back for Shabbat for Saturday, come back to Cleveland. It's a 2-hour drive, it's not that long, and then returning out again, probably returning out again Sunday. So in other words, between now and next Sunday, I have 0 days that I can film anything. Between Monday. Tomorrow is my last day that I can film, and after that I have no filming for the next 6 days. I need to get everything prepped for those 6 days, and ideally for the next few days after, so I'm not coming into the next week with like no time to prep. We got more giant stacks of tiles over here, just tons of tile variability. Just, you know, the art on these tiles is always okay. I was never overly pulled in. I like the card art a lot more, but the tile art was always okay for me. More edges pieces, all that. Just ways of setting up the board to give you different, you know, configurations of a forest and ice and fire and volcano and all those different things. Now let's talk about some of these over here. What we got, looks like we got the dagger system, and we got, what are these? Are these daggers that go on characters' back? We'll take a look soon enough. Nope, here we go. See, these daggers, they actually just released an update. These red daggers, I believe, these white daggers, one of the sets, the white daggers are for something else. So the white daggers are used for tracking something somewhere else. These are interesting, they're different. They're like kind of these little, I don't know what they track exactly where, but it looks like they kind of can fit between a punch board for the most part. This is a thick punch board. It looks like it would perfectly fit on the other punch board. But these white daggers are used for tracking something. I don't know exactly what, but I saw an update today, so I'm not worried. We have various standee clips for various, well, standee-like things. We saw some of those already. Seems like there's a lot of these. I don't know why there's so many. I don't know. Can't be a big deal, though. It doesn't particularly disturb me. And then we have the daggers, which we'll take a look at with the miniatures. And we have the various bases, which we'll take a look with the miniatures. Let's take a look at some of the cards, because we have... This is our stack of randomizer cards for context, okay? So we have a lot of cards going on here. Let's just go ahead and put everything down on the table so you can just see how many cards there are in your base set of Ignite. This is what you have. This is what you have over here. These are randomizers, to be fair. So this is what we have. Can we make this even? I don't see a way to make this even. It's not going to be even unless we go that way. Nope, still not going to be even. Nope, not going to be even. I'll live with it. It's fine. If we do it that way... There we go. Does that count? Anyway, we have our giant stacks of cards. We have some base cards. I'm always hesitant to do this part on camera because if I start opening these and I don't keep track of what goes where, I can very quickly make a bigger mess than I will want to, speaking frankly. But let's go ahead and do it anyway because I want to show you some cards and art and stuff. So, we have some basic daggers here. This is going to be a basic card, I believe. I believe it's a starter card. It's going to be one of the daggers you can basically use to attack somebody in the back with. We're going to go ahead, this is just a giant stack of daggers. We have an old wooden shield, that's going to be another starting card. This is going to give you some degree of defense where you can basically trash the card to block an attack. And characters know this. You see, the problem with the game, not the problem, the balance of the game is that the cards you spend to attack others also means you have less money to spend to build your own deck. And so when you know that the person you're attacking has a defense and you're not even going to get the satisfaction of having actually done something useful with your time, then you're stuck with this weird situation where you're like, I can attack you, but you probably have a shield, so now I'm going to waste my time, I'm going to waste your time, and that person's going to do better. So the game kind of basically forces a degree of leveling up together because you often don't want to just attack people unnecessarily. Now, I don't want to go through here finding all the cards for everything. Where's the dagger? This dagger's got to be somewhere in here, and yet it's not. Are there... Interesting. Are there not starting cards here? Servant's Loyalty. Here we go, let's go ahead and look this way. Dagger. Okay, we got the wooden shield there. We have the old wooden shield. We have the magic potion bomb. There should be a dagger somewhere. We have the trash pile. Dagger. There we go. So, we're going to go ahead and take this, put this behind this like so. We have our starting daggers. Let's do it that way. And let's do it that way. And now we can start building out our, board over here. And I'm not actually going to do this for all of them because that would be very boring for you to watch on camera. But I will start my pile. I will also have to sleeve these, by the way, because I already know that I like this game, which means I don't have to wait. I can just have fun. Let's go ahead and show you some more fun cards, because the fun of the game is going to be in the card variation. But anyways, going back to what I was saying with my schedule. So I'm trying to film an entirely too large amount of videos to cover me entirely for this week and partially for next. I want to go at least halfway into next week. Let's go ahead and do this over here. Yeah, we're going to toss that behind me. Then we're going to go ahead and look at these. These look like randomizers. Are these randomizers? What's going on here? Why do I have a whole bunch? This must be randomizers. Are they different than the other backs? Yep, they're different. These cards have a different back. They're black instead of white, which means these must be the randomizers. So we're going to take this with the randomizer over there and put this at the very front of the queue. And that's just because I happen to have the randomizer still out. We have the trash pile over here, which we'll go ahead and take a look at. I don't know exactly what's happening with this stuff, but I'm just trying to be very careful. The last thing you want to do is be a little too fast, and then you've scratched up your cards unnecessarily, going back to the fact that when you spend $200, there's this expectation of like, well, I want it to be as pristine as possible. it's not going to be as pristine as possible if you give it a nice gouge because you're just a little too careless with what you're doing. So we have some arrow cards. It's going to be a damage 1 shot out of a bow. I will explain that more a little bit. Then there's going to be some basic movement cards. Again, I'm just going to focus on getting these ready to go into the thing. I'm not going to sort the organizers right now. I'll deal with that later. But I will go through all of these so I can show you some cool cards as I go through. Or maybe not all of them necessarily, because we still have the minis to go through. So maybe not all of them. Maybe I'll just go through 1 or 2 more until I find some cool cards. So we have quick reflexes. See, this is the problem. We're gonna have like different. What's going on here? We have quick reflexes here. Oh no! Oh no! You didn't! Oh no! Okay, here's what's going on here. Okay. Oh my dear lord! And we have this thingish off the side. Ginger Snap Gaming, I love you. This is not a problem. I just don't like when factories do this. But it looks like we got the way factories are doing this one is when they do piles of 2 at a time. It's not always 2 at a time, but basically, instead of having a group of quick reflexes, there's a few ways you'll have it. Sometimes you'll have all the cards in a grouping, like 7 or 8 cards, 7 or 8 types of cards in a bundle like so. Other times you'll have 7 or 8 cards in a bundle like so, but then the last card's like 2 left and that bundle starts again in the next pile. This is what I hate over here. When we have quick reflexes, quick reflexes, quick reflexes. We have magic quiver, magic quiver, magic quiver. We have this, this, and we're gonna have to do that for every single pile. That is not something I want to do. But I'm going to go ahead and put this back here for right now because let's go ahead and make sure we got the right order there. We're gonna go through there and put that back. And now we're just gonna go through the cards so we can talk about them all pretty like without me losing my mind at this. It's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. This is the kind of thing I'll just go ahead and organize doing movie night or whatever it is while watching. I don't even know what we're watching tonight. Maybe some more episodes of What If, speaking of Marvel again. Anyways, quick reflexes. Movement 1 can be discarded out of turn to have one of your units move 1 space, dodging a spell. You see, that's a pretty cool card. I like the card already. I want it. It costs 9. It costs 9! Oh my gosh, jeez. We have Magic Quiver. Place this card permanently in front of you. You may keep up to 3 arrows here, removing them from your hand in order to use them at a later turn. That's cool. We have Pike, we have Warhammer, we have Monopoly. Until your next turn, no enemy unit may use the Bazaar. The Bazaar is going to be the area in the middle of the board. I think it's the area in the middle of the board. We have the Teleport. Select one of units, swap this unit's location with an enemy unit's location. Any small items in those spaces are also moved. These are some fun cards. Throw Weapon. Use the melee weapon to make it a ranged weapon of range 1 to 2. The melee weapon is trashed after you attack it. I like that. I like that. You got to trash that weapon. Acid Arrow. So arrows require bows in general, which is why you have that quiver card where you can keep them out of place, because otherwise you need the arrow to line up with the bow, which can be frustrating, but it does give you ranged abilities, which is a lot more flexible in the game. We have Unicorn. Movement 1 to 3. If you move through an enemy unit, it takes 1 damage. If blocked by a shield, the enemy unit is knocked down. Dead Aim. Increase the maximum range of all your ranged or thrown weapons by 1 during your turn. There's a lot of fun cards. Ability Berserk. Each time one of your units takes damage, reveal this card to draw 3 cards. I actually played with that card in my game. Horse, movement 1 to 3. That gives you additional movement. We have Blessed Spear, we have Aura Blast. Select one of your units. All units, minion, and small items adjacent to that unit are pushed back 1 space. So this can be a lot of fun, by the way. The cards that push people around involve things like pushing people into lava, or smashing them into like ice walls and breaking them, different things like that. We have Ring of Fire. We have Recurve Bow, which requires arrows, but gives you a range 2 to 3. That's what you want to like line up. So card draw with arrows and bows is very helpful. We have Javelin, range 1 to 2. We have a Water Missile. We have Quick Hands. Draw 1 card each time you attack an enemy unit this turn. So you're basically just like, you shoot an arrow, draw another one, draw another one. It could be a lot of fun. So what you're going to do in this game is you're going to be setting up this market. That's going to be a general overview. Let's say one more. We have a Metal Shield. Discard to block a weapon, projectile, or mount. So you get to discard that, and you get to block something. And it's discard, not trash. We have Gladiator Net. Range 1 to 2. The target unit can't move except via spells until the beginning of your next turn. That can really mess someone over. But yeah, this is basically the way the game plays. You're going to have a fixed market of cards. If I recall correctly, it's 16. So it's not like a Dominion market where you only have 10 cards. You have a decent variety, decent degree of options in the cards you'll have. And then what you're going to do is you're going to just start trying to think through, just like if you were playing Dominion, okay, which combination of cards and abilities are going to work well for me to give me the most, chances of winning and all of that. And with that, let's go ahead and start looking at miniatures. So, we have over here, we have miniatures that don't want to come out nicely. Anyways, so we have Panda over here. This is going to be Panda. Let's go ahead and show you them. This game may or may not have been manufactured by Panda, which is interesting. Was it? Actually, I have no idea who manufactured this. Panda, if you're not familiar, is going to be one of the companies that does a lot of manufacturing. You can see in the back there, that's going to be the dagger system. So a big part of the game is they have these daggers that they wanted to be able to put into the back of various enemies. But in order to do that, you need to make sure that they're going to stick, right? Because otherwise, it's not great for anyone. So it looks like this dagger will mostly stick. Why is it? Are these the... No. No, 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 no. Are the white daggers? That wouldn't make sense. See, that guy on his back seems to have a space for 2? No. No, no, no. Okay, fine. I'm confused by the way those holes are illustrated. I was pretty sure the red daggers go into the back. You want them to be nice and visible. But the way they go in, I mean, they do stick, which is nice. The only thing you care about is that they actually stick. But I think you have to put it in that way for them to stick. That's interesting. But once you do, it does work. If you put them like there, great, okay. And if you... That did not stick. That did not stick. Let's go ahead and shove it in a bit more. Nope. So let's see. I think, and the rulebook probably actually tells me what to do. But you want to push it in like there. Perfect. Oh, interesting. I see what's going on. I now see how the daggers are formatted. Perfect. Okay, cool. They should not fall out now. There we go. Okay, cool. So there's a little bit of a groove, which you may or may not be able to see. But the dagger has a groove. Let's pull this one out. You see how that angle there, it looks a little bit of a groove there? And the dagger has a groove along the edge, which you may not be able to see. But that means that if you put the dagger in perfectly in the middle, it hits that pressure point and doesn't come out. But yeah, that's going to be the way this dagger system works. Every time you deal damage, you basically get a dagger in someone's back. And when you kill them, it's a point towards whatever. Now, one of my problems with the game, which I think they have a variant for, I'll have to double check. One of my problems with the game is I don't like games where the person who finishes the baddie gets the points and no one else does. Never a fan of that system. I mean, so I think they have a variant in the game where anyone will, and you could even house rule if you didn't care, where you get points based on the amount of damage you do and not based off the finishing blow. Or maybe you get points based on the damage and you get an extra point for the finishing blow. I don't mind that quite as much. We have the dwarfs over here. Now, it's interesting. One of the things about this game is I was never particularly pulled in by the miniature sculpts. The game, I was pulled in by the game. I was not pulled in by the miniature sculpts. That one's not bad. I don't mind that one. But like the actual sculpting, even the mold lines, I mean, the mold lines weren't my issue, but there's a very, very noticeable mold line there. That is a bad mold line. Whoa. But anyways, the miniatures were never why I backed this game. Miniatures are just kind of extra for me in this case. It's just I don't know what it is. Some miniatures will pull me in, some don't. Like the Cthulhu Wars miniatures, I always find them too bulky. They don't really do it for me. But lots of people love them. So everyone has different strokes. Although this Kitsune over here, I like the Kitsune. Although I think I just like Kitsune in general. Kitsune's going to be the Fox Clan over here. That's going to be that. What the fuck say? I'm not going to show you all the miniatures because honestly, I just don't necessarily care enough to go through all of them. But I do like these lizard folk or rat men or whatever you want to call them. I don't know which faction this is. I think the rat men are a different faction. So this must be some form of lizard folk. And then we're going to put that there. Anyways, so where am I? This is annoying to figure out how they go. Okay, what else do we have? We have humans. I think these are humans. Maybe they're elves. These are either humans or elves. There we go. And again, everyone has in their back just 3 little spots for daggers. 3 little spots waiting to be... They're literally waiting to be stabbed in the back. That's what's going on here. So we have the rat men, which are... There's going to be 5 rats. Generally, the way it works is each clan has 3 units, but rats have 5. Maybe these are the humans. These are probably the humans. The other ones were probably the elves then. Yep. Okay. There we go. And that's going to be enough for the base set. In terms of ones we're missing, I don't think I pulled out the lions over here, and I don't think I pulled out the rat men up there. But I pulled out the rest, and that's basically what we have in the base set. We have the bases, which will go on them. We have these, which will go back over here. And then we will go ahead and see what goes back in the box. Now, this is one of those things that's always interesting. Games take into account the spot of how a game has to deliver to you. They don't always take into account how a game has to be stored. So the question of these tiles, they fit beautifully here, but then what are you going to do with them after? Are you going to bag them? For myself, I'm probably just going to combine it all into a box anyway and get rid of the inserts, so I don't particularly care. But for others, that might be a bit of a concern in terms of it's not the best storage solution. This is a typical CMON storage solution, by the way. It's very typical for a CMON game to have that issue where they're just like, okay, great, we got it in the box, and now it's your problem. Which, again, for me is not a problem because of the fact that I tend to ditch the inserts anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Let's go over here and check out gameplay variants. Win condition, King of the Hill. Win condition, Team Deathmatch. Epic Ignite, Tournament, Race banning. We have plays often... King of the Hill. Yeah, I don't know exactly where there are. I wasn't sure if there was a variant for having just, additional variant notes. I'll read this later. But again, I think again, even if they don't have it officially in the rules, if it's a problem for our games, I will just house rule that it's based on damage and not based on kills. Or again, based on damage with 1 extra point for kills. Because one of the reasons I got rid of Arcadia Quest going back in the day is specifically because I just don't like that mechanic. I'm not a fan of the mechanic where, everyone works as hard as they can and then someone else can come in. So it becomes this weird game of, I don't want to attack you because someone else will kill you. So I'll just sit here and not attack you and let someone else attack you. And then once they've attacked you, then I'll attack you. In the meantime, I'm just going to build up the entire time. So it's interesting. I don't love that mechanic. I don't like the reward concept in it. Again, I like the game despite that, and I'm willing to house rule or modify or variant to get where I want. That's going to be the Ignite base game. Now the Freeze. One of these things introduced more cards, and I think the new enemy introduced a cooperative mode, I believe. So, in which case, in cooperative mode, it wouldn't bother me at all. So we have the Freeze, which is more content, more races. We have Orcs, we have Fallen Valkyrie, we have new terrain types, we have some more terms, War Machines, gameplay variants, card glossary, and that's basically it. So just plain and simple, to the point. We have some Kickstarter exclusive content over here, new content. We have the token trays, which is catapults and siege engines. I don't know what's happening there, but I already like it. We have more of these tiles over here, more daggers, more of the white daggers over here that can go down there. More cards, more factions. I'll show you both of these right now. So we have 2 different factions. Let's go ahead and let's get the focus. There we go. The Fallen Valkyrie and the whatever they were. I don't even remember what they said. But Orcs, I guess? I guess they must be Orcs. I just didn't pay attention. We have the Shaman Chieftain. Oh, I remember these. The titles. The titles were fun. Oh, I totally forgot about titles. Were there titles in the base game? Did I miss them? Maybe they must have been in the punch board. Titles were the concept of earning these titles that give you additional rewards for basically having, I can't remember how it works. You could pay for them and you could, oh, that's what it was. So the white swords mark the titles. So if you find one of the white swords over here, you can see that you take the white swords. It looks like they have green swords too. I don't know what that's for. But the white swords are going to mark the cost of a title. So you do is you slide this white sword over here, and then that's going to indicate either the current cost or the next cost, and you keep sliding it, and eventually whoever pays the most actually has the title locked in. That's purely from memory. Don't take my word for it. But there's a concept of basically getting extra abilities that are more fixed and in place than your standard abilities. Then we have the standard cards, that is. Then we have more cards. Again, in terms of cards, let's go ahead and just take out the bundles of cards because I like doing that. Cards. More cards for your Ignite system. And then let's go ahead and look at the big box. And in the meantime, going back to Origins or whatnot. So yeah, so I'm going to be finishing up this video. Then I need to go timestamp all the videos, and timestamp and thumbnail all the videos I've done today, because I've done like 7 videos today. This is like my 7th video. I think I have one more video I need to do today, and then I'm good, or good-ish. The more I get done, the better, honestly, but one more that I need to get done, and then I'm good-ish. And then from there, it's going to be a question of thumbnails and timestamps for everything. If you've been paying enough attention to the channel recently, then you already know that in the past week and a half, there have been videos that were missing descriptions. There were videos that were missing links. There was one video that had the wrong thumbnail, which I realized, but I just ran out of time. So I just literally grabbed an old thumbnail, threw it on, hoped no one would notice. It was the week in review, and then I corrected it 3 days later. And this is all because I have no time right now. Holiday season combined with conventions, combined with me still having a day job, just means that I have zero time, and of course a family of 6, so no time whatsoever. The fun part of holidays is holidays does ensure that I get my game time in, because you can't review games if you're not playing games, and the more holidays, the more games I get played. I've been playing a lot of games recently. I just have to add Ignite to the list because, well, more Ignite is definitely not a bad thing. We have Ignite a new enemy. This is going to have some sort of cooperative mode, I believe. We have cards set up. We have how to play, boss battle. I'll read this stuff later. We have tokens, and then we have the big bad miniature, which again, even as impressive as this guy is, I didn't back this game for the miniatures. The miniatures in Ignite are okay to me. They're not amazing. I'm not complaining. No, I am complaining. I'm clearly complaining. I'm complaining in the sense that I'm not actually complaining. I'm saying that the miniatures in Ignite just don't make me excited for the miniature aspect of the game. No different than the fact that Vagonsong is going to be an upcoming game that looks very cool, looks very exciting. I've already had a chance to play it, very intrigued. I'll have coverage on it at some point. But Vagonsong is a game where I'm excited for Vagonsong. I'm not excited for the miniatures in Vagonsong because there are no miniatures. There's standees. Similarly, I'm not excited for the miniatures in Ignite, not because there's no miniatures, but because the miniatures don't excite me. It's not a complaint against the game, it's an aspect of the game. I backed it all the same because I wanted the deck building skirmish aspect of the game, which in that sense, I believe it will deliver based on one play and a whole lot of hype and excitement. But anyways, that has been your unboxing and rambling of Ignite. As far as Origins, if you're watching this video, Origins is probably over. I don't know exactly when this video is going up. Maybe not. Maybe this video is going up Saturday? I don't know when this video is going up. This video is going up at some point. I'm just trying to make sure I have content for the next week and a half, so it's somewhere between Sunday the 28th and probably the Tuesday after Origins is probably when this video is going up. We'll find out together, apparently. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, have a good one.